Bryce, and today I'm going to go over two methods that I use to longline. Longlining is used as a form of groundwork, get a good feel of your horse, teaching them to steer and stop, bend off of pressure, as well as introducing them to driving. So today I'm going to be using Charity here as one example. She's going to be wearing a Western saddle with long lines. She's going to have a draw line on. It's just what works best for her with a simple snaffle, no cavesson. The draw line is mostly for a directional pressure for the bit. It is not really a forced bend of their neck. You'll see once I'm moving that I never really take a hold of those lines. Again, it's just a directional pressure. So the basic pieces of equipment that you'll need for this method is a Western saddle, cinch pad, and long lines, and a bridle that works for your horse. I prefer simple snaffles, especially when you're starting out. You can add a double bridle for saddle seat horses or something more complex once your horse has a better feel. So I've got my nylon draw lines. These are just one of the long lines that I use. For right now, I'll put it over the horn. I add the extra and I just loop it up. And then I'll go ahead and bridle her. So as you see, it's just a simple twisted wire snaffle, nothing too complex. She prefers not to have a cavesson. It just allows her to move her jaw. My goal is to get them loose and bending instead of bracing off that bridle. Now that she's bridled, I'll take one side of my long lines. I work from the outside in through the bit, making sure that the line stays on the outside, and back to a low part on my Western saddle. This is just going to allow her to bend over and roll up. Once she's worked a little bit, I might move it up a little higher. Just a little preface, we have been rained out for about a week, so these horses are going to be fresh. I want to allow them to succeed, so I set them up appropriately. I let her roll and soften before I ask her to lift her head. I've done the same on the other side with the other long line, and now we're ready to head out to work. So I usually like to walk my horses out in the lines to wherever I'm long lining. Today we're going to be out in the open. Usually I start young horses and any new horse to me in the bullpen so that I have a nice enclosure. I get to know that horse and what they're capable of. Then I move out to the arena or another open space. My end goal is to really have them listening and working around me without too much of the outside pressure of walls or a bullpen. So as I'm walking out, I'm getting a feel for my horse. I use a lunge whip to use as a directional and forward pressure aid. As you can see, I've got my outside long line hooked around the horn. It just keeps it nice and steady. So now we're out in the dressage arena and we're just walking, letting the mare kind of find her circle. And as you can see, my lines aren't terribly tight, they're guiding, but in no way am I binding her. And so this is definitely a different feel for most people, not being on the horse to guide. So as you start, just get comfortable with this. Get comfortable with being away from them and start to kind of feel your body position and how it affects the horse. This mare has a little lack of confidence, so I like to stay towards her hip just a bit to send her forward. And again, you can see she's not going faster, she's just going forward. Her head's dropped and she's relaxed, she's licking and chewing. Once she settles in, I'm going to ask her to cut across the center. You'll see I get closer to her body, I shorten my lines so that I can reach up and over my saddle and guide her to the left. I let the right line slide through my hand as she bends, and I usually swap my lunge whip over behind her. Again, sending her forward confidently. I'll start to kind of nudge her into the center of our circle just so her head stays straight and focused, just as if you were riding. Again, when she drops her head, I relax, I let her sit there comfortably. And again, when she starts to relax and get comfortable, I will do another turn. If she looks up, I give a little cluck and I send her forward to her bridle just a bit. When I'm ready to turn, I'm going to shorten my lines, come towards her, little nudge to the inside, lift my hands. Everything is smooth. She knows what to expect. She knows when my body crosses over behind. She's going to change directions. That's because she's been doing this for a while. To start, your horse might get a little spooked. It might jump forward as you do that. Make sure that if they step forward, you don't pull back on the lines. You want them always thinking forward is the safest bet. So once she's settled and you get a good feel for turning and bending, you can ask your horse to trot. I'm going to make sure she's focused so she knows what I'm asking. She's not surprised by my cue. Trot, trot. And she's just going to settle right in. Like I said earlier, these horses haven't been worked in a week. They've been hand walked and gotten out of their stalls, but due to the rain, they've been cooped up. So I'm looking at her reaction to stepping up and coming back to work. This is really nice. She's relaxed, she's not too tight. You can see she's just a little stiff, but she didn't jump to it. She didn't push past the speed that I've asked for. And I'm just going to maintain this. If she lifts her head, I'm going to just add a little cluck, bring her back to me. Again, my lines are never getting tight. My goal here is to keep her body straight, so I'm going to keep just a little squeeze of my inside hand, that right hand, to keep her body straight, her head straight. Might add just a little lash whip to push her shoulder out. There we go. As you can tell, she is really broke to this. She works outside really well. She'll go into the bullpen and actually get just a little more stressed because of the high walls. So I really like this arena for working her in lines. Once she relaxes and we've gone around a few times, she's straightened out, she's carrying herself, I'm going to ask her to whoop walk. And again, everything is relaxed and smooth. When she slows down, I see what little I can do. She's pretty good at the voice command, so I wait and see if that will get the job done. If not, I just add a little squeeze back to me. And then a release as she slows. Always rewarding for a try. And again, I'll move closer to her, never getting fast as I move towards her. She knows that when I swap sides, she's going to turn. And that's where you see just her little lack of confidence. She's going to pause and wait for direction. This direction, she likes to get just a little crooked. She's going to push her left shoulder to the middle. So I'm going to work on that when we ask her to trot. Trot. There, she kind of self-corrected there. She knows the drill. She's going to look out just a bit. So I'm going to add just a little pressure to the outside line and then a little nudge with the inside. So I'm asking her to remain in the outside circle, but adjust her body position. I can also use my lash as a directional aid. There, I pushed her shoulder out just a little by giving her some entertainment in the center. I try to keep things even with this horse. She's not terribly one-sided. Drop. So I make sure that I go around about equal times. I never count, I just make sure that it seems about equal and that I get the same results and then call it good. Since this is her first day back working, I am never afraid to start a little slow, relax, let her find her feet, and then make adjustments. Whoa. Never be afraid to stop and make bridle adjustments, make line adjustments. Here I'm going to rise up onto the horn of the saddle so that I can change the directional pressure of my long lines. Your horse should be able to nice and relaxed stand still while you make these adjustments. Just a little background on this mare. She came to me with not too much work on her. She came from the Midwest and she had been raised in an indoor barn and trained in an indoor barn. So when she got here, the world was really big for her. So the fact that she can stand here and just relax and look around is huge for her. And then being able to just come out and after a week off jog around quietly is really, really big for her. So I want to keep this work short and sweet. When she's good, she gets rewarded. And if I need a little bit more work on her, I'll come back a second time in the day. So as you can see, she's still nice and round and supple, so that means my decision was probably a good one. I didn't rush it to ask her to start lifting her head just a little. Drop. So she is being prepared for hunt seat, so she will have a little lower head carriage anyway. I'm not going to ask her to raise up. I can always add a side check if I needed to. But I want her really focused on carrying her barrel, working through her back muscles and her SI. So as you can see, she's settled into this higher set. And as she starts to loosen up, I'm going to ask for just a little bit more power and intensity through her chest and her barrel. Still always leading with her brow band. I like to ride and work off their ears. So when they're settled and they're good, she's got that one ear listening to me, and then she's really focused, those ears are forward, she's happy. I'm going to ask her to step up just a little. Again, always making sure she stays straight in her body and driving through her brow band and chest. Never ask her to step up if she's not focused. And I can always bring her back down. Whoa. If I need to reset. Good girl. Right. So this was part 1 of my long lining video with the Western saddle. Stay tuned for part 2 where I'll go over long lining with a harness and a crupper. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Please follow and subscribe. Stay tuned and like our Facebook page at Anderson Stables.